Welcome back. You're watching the SMID, the Small and Mid Cap Show here on NDTV Profit. As promised, we have the management of BEML, and while we had Mihika for the management earlier, I also want to welcome Anushi Vakharia, who tracks infrastructure with us, to talk to us with Mr. Roy in order to engage better, have a more meaningful conversation. Thank you so much, Anushi, for joining us. First off, let me introduce Mr. Shantanu Roy, the Chairman and Managing Director at BEML. First, welcome, sir, to NDTV Profit. I want to start off by talking to you about the order book itself. You're currently at sub 12,000 crore, maybe slightly better expected in Q4 as well as in FY24 as a whole in terms of order book. Is there some part of the order book that's been pushed to FY25, and what's that number like?
Yes, you're very right. It is subpar 12,000, and it is mainly because of some orders which we were expecting by March 24. They have been pushed back, especially for the rail and metro. Around 3,000 crores of orders have been pushed back. So it will now happen sometime between June to September. So once that happens, definitely whatever has been pushed back, it will be fructified, I believe, in the next quarter for the current financial year.
Now, Mr. Shantanu, if I look at the order book, about 8,500 crore executable in the next years, while 3,000 crore stands at about this. I wanted to understand now, with some new order inflows in place, what is our revenue growth looking forward? You've maintained doubling the revenue in the next few years. So I just wanted to understand how is that?
The guidance on the revenue growth, I'll maintain at 18 to 20% CAGR. For 2024-25 and for the coming years as well. So the order inflow that we are expecting, let me first give you a glimpse of the opportunity size that we have for 24-25. If I talk about defense, we have an opportunity size of around 6,000 crore in the areas that we have the capability. As far as rail and metro is concerned, the opportunity size is 58,000 crores. If I talk about mining, the opportunity size is around 3,000 crore for 24-25. If you take a hit rate or a probability of 50% in defense and in rail and metro, and a probability of 80% in mining and construction, I see an order book of around 20,000 crore to 30,000 crore, a band of 20,000 to 30,000 crore to end the year with 24-25. So that is what my guidance will be as far as the order book is concerned.
Understood. And with regard to execution going forward, I know you suggested 18 to 20% top line. That would be the execution run rate even going beyond FY25. Is that fair to say?
The execution run rate has to be there once we have the orders, and the execution has to be ramped up. And the execution run rate will not match the order book per se immediately. The execution will get ramped up in the coming years. For example, if we end up with an order book of 20,000 crore, we can expect at a sales revenue number of 7,000 to 8,000 crore in 25-26. So that will be the kind of execution run rate. It also depends on the projects that we get. If it's a defense or rail and metro project, normally the gestation period is around 2 years. So 2 to 3 years is the project time. So we have to keep a tab. We have to take into consideration the execution timelines based on the kind of project that we get. But yes, our aspiration is to definitely touch 8,000 to 10,000 crores in the coming few years. And for that, order booking and execution are going to be our two focus areas. And of course, this year, the last financial year was a blockbuster year for us, wherein the biggest achievement was taking care of our shareholders when we announced a dividend of 205%. This was the first time in the history of the company that we declared a dividend of 205%, double the normal dividend of 100%. Second is, it was a year when we made the highest ever profit after tax. And third is, that was also the year where we undertook the journey of restructuring the company and our diversification efforts we had started. And on 1st of April 2024, we have rolled out 11 strategic business units and 2 micro strategic business units with a major aim of enhancing our top line, increasing the bottom line, and also diversification.
Well, Mr. Roy, that's some strong outlook over there. But now I want to address on the margins. Now, if you look at the Q4, a clear standout over here, or 24.5% margins. Want to understand here, how did we see this key growth levers that led to this kind of margin expansion that we are seeing? And again, if you look at the overall FY24 also, 11% of margin, which is in line. So what is the sustainable rate going forward? Are we looking for more expansion now?
As far as the margins are concerned, I've always maintained that since we are in a capital goods industry and we are an engineering company, around 15% of the EBITDA is a pretty healthy EBITDA. This year, I'm happy that we could touch the double digits as far as the annual EBITDA is concerned. In fact, we ended at around 12% EBITDA, which was a growth of around 200 basis points. For 24-25, I see I can visualize an EBITDA of an increase of around 100 basis points. That is what my guidance will be. But yes, we will try to improve upon the EBITDA depending upon the top line. If you are able to achieve our top line numbers or exceed them, then the EBITDA also will grow accordingly.
Sure, I take a point, sir. Sir, just with regard to where therefore would margins sit, they would sit sub 15% maybe next year and creep into the 15% kind of mark year after. Is that how maybe FY26?
That's what I can envisage as of now.
Sure.
For 24-25, as I said, 100 BPS should be all right. And beyond that, maybe we can creep in to 15% in the next couple of years. If that happens, it will be, one of our big jumps and big achievements.
Lever be, sir, for this increase, would it purely be top line and efficiency starting to kick in?
The levers are not only the top line and the efficiency. The levers will also be focus on execution. The levers will also be on diversification. The levers are also because of the kind of product mix we are going to come up with. So all these will be the strategic levers that will ensure the top line as well as the bottom line for the company in the years to come.
Mr. Roy, final question for you. You've had a phenomenal journey, about 60 years of a journey. Now, what has that been, and going forward, what's the road ahead?
Thank you very much. We just completed 60 years on 11th of May, and the journey has been fantastic. It has seen its ups and downs, but the most important thing is that we have been able to contribute to the Make in India and Atmanirbharta aspirations of the country in all the business verticals. And the three signature moves that define the BML of today has happened in the last 60 years. But the future, we are going to have at least 6 to 7 signature moves in the coming 4 to 5 years, which will define the BML of the coming 20-25 years. That is what I can say at this stage.
Thank you so much, Mr. Roy. This one being a multi-bagger over the 12-month period, you have almost tripled your investment if you've invested in this company exactly 12 months back. So a stellar performance continues. Thank you so much, Mr. Roy, for giving us all of that context. Completely out of time on this edition of the SMID Show.